Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I first met him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of many sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro must bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of the lamb and the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectations it must expect of you to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina who will be very glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there is much joy in him. Even so much joy that he could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better is it to weep at joy than to joy at weeping?
I pray you, is Signor Montano back from the wars or no?
I do not know any of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of that sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
Well, my cousin means is Signor Benedict of Podio.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as ever.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. My uncle's full reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. But I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed, for I will eat in all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll be meat with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service in these wars, lady.
He had musty victual, and he hoped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman, and he hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier, too.
A good soldier to a lady, but what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind marriage betwixt her, Signor Benedict, and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets something by that. In our last conflicts, 4 of his 5 wins went halting off, and now there's one man governed with one. So that if he has wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear a difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth that he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. But who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his fade like a fashion of his hat. He changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and if he were, I would burn my study. I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire now that make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is in the most company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh Lord, he'll hang upon him like a disease. He has no sooner caught the pestilence. He'll go presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he had caught the Benedict, it will cost me 1,000 years he'd be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Good Signor Leonardo, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid costs, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
You embrace your charge too willingly.
No, for no one can embrace their charge too willingly.
I wonder that you'll still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she has such food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to Disdain if you come in her presence.
Then courtesy is a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart, for I had not hard heart. For truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women, there was else many pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I'm in your humor for that. I'd rather hear a dog bark at a crow than hear a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching cannot make it worse with such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so be a good continuer. Keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you're old.
That is the sum of all, Leonardo. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo, hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but he prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall be forsworn. Please hit your grades lead on.
Oh, that's good.
I have to talk to you.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to them?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that, were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yes, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid is a good hair finder, and a Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go into the song?
In my eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked upon.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There is her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury that exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn to contrary if Hera would be my wife.
Is it come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go in faith, and thou wilt needs trust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Don Pedro approaches.
temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's. Commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embages, and so I commit you
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend Benedict.
mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. Ere you flout ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have solved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner, with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine in practice. Let us put it presently.